Hello everyone. Here we are presenting the idea number 28 and the title is PG Life. The group members of the presentation are Sakshi Porwal, Saurav Singh and Vishal Rawat. And the respective information of the members is given in the first slide of the presentation as you can see on the screen. So now let's move to the introduction of the idea. Let us first focus on the target audience. If you are a student or a working professional, or have you ever traveled or shifted from one place to another for your work or your studies, or have you ever faced a similar situation, then we have a question for you. How did you manage to stay in that new place with the new people, especially when you have to manage it under your budget? Well, it might be difficult for you to manage it, but PG Life is here to make it easy. PG Life is a new home solution for all your above problems. The platform that provides temporary or long term stay facilities for students or working professionals under the budget that is pocket friendly stay. Now, the idea has been discussed with the industry expert Dr. Megharani Patil, who is the associate professor in computer department and in charge HOD in AIML department of Thakur College of Engineering and Technology. So here we are going to talk about the literature review of that particular idea. The objective of the idea is to find out a better solution for the people like us, be a student or some business person who look for short or long-term stay in an unknown city for studies or work. In the present era, people look for the best in their careers and that's what makes them migrate to find out the best for them. But only studies or work only headache when you move. Finding a place to stay is also a major one. PG Life provides you the right solution within a few clicks. So get your new home under your budget with all the required facilities anywhere and anytime. We need to know that how useful this idea is. Well, the idea that makes the things easy and handy for people when they're stuck or clueless about new things is always a good idea. People are always in the urgent need for the food and shelter whenever they shift or migrate. Well, food is not our department, but the shelter is. And it is easy to find a shelter only if you have heavy wages to handle. So the PG Life supports those students or people who look for pocket friendly shelters with all the required facilities. Well, there are social impacts of the same idea as well, and positively, these are growth, sharing, culture, and whatnot. Growth. People will not hesitate to migrate for their career purposes when living becomes a barrier for them in growing and learning. Why sharing? As a hostler or a PG, it teaches the biggest life lessons to share and to care, to adjust with ups and the downs, and many aspects required to be kind and strong in society. Culture. When you go for something new, it may be completely unknown. An additional benefit of PG is that you can meet and interact with new people, learn new things. However, there are few main objectives defined for the implementation of this particular idea. The objective is to solve the temporary living problems for students and working people category when they migrate from one place to another. All we need to complete this objective is to collaborate with the hostels, PGs, and lodges that reach their target customers at the right place at the right time. This aggregation system will help the businesses and their customers meet their respective requirements easily.
Talking about the resources needed, it is divided into two parts, software and hardware. The software part of the resources will be required to design and develop the PG Life website, and the hardware will be needed to be able to access the website. There are various software like Visual Studio Code and GitHub which we will be using for collaborating and MySQL database to handle all the data. The user will also require a browser to be able to search the website. As per the hardware, these are the basic requirements of any hardware which is required to access the website. Now, for the plan to execute the idea with timeline. First, since we are all engineering students, we don't have a lot of time in our hand. Therefore, we need to distribute all our work equally among ourselves and make a proper diagram about how we will approach the problem. The first thing is idea survey, where we will talk to the students who live in outstation who will find this website useful. We can also talk to our mentor faculties and the people from the industry to get an idea about what we should be doing. After that, we will create a low fidelity diagram, which is basically how the website will look like. After creating this using Figma, we can extract all the designing files from Figma to our local storage and design the front end of the website. Once we have done that, we need to design a concept about how the database will look like. It includes the data which we will extract from the user, how much that data is relevant to us, and finally, designing a table and multiple tables. The database creation will create all the tables and connect them with each other using their primary and foreign keys. And lastly, we will need to connect the database to our website. After our front end and back end is ready, we will test the website by accessing it locally and debug it wherever necessary. Once our website is fully functioning, we can deploy it. Now, moving on to the deployment part. For this, we need money. Basically, for deployment, you will need to purchase a domain, which is 149 rupees per month. By using a domain, it is very easy for people to access a website. For example, if I can directly search pglife.com, it is very much simpler than maybe accessing a Heroku link or some other link. Hosting the website also takes 299 rupees per month, whereas hosting a database can be free if we use softwares like Firebase or Heroku. Hence, the total cost would be 488 rupees per month. Now, for the methodology, like I have mentioned previously, we have distributed our work equally and divided it into four phases. The first phase is where we discuss the idea with our mentor and fellow students. The second phase is designing the web pages through Figma and extracting our files and working on the front end. The third phase is creating a relational database by understanding which data we will require and connecting that database with our front end. And lastly, once we have both front end and back end, we need to deploy the website on the internet.
Let's understand the project from this block diagram. It consists of four phases, and in the first phase, we will be doing things as research work and finding the loopholes of the project we have decided with our mentor as well as our fellow students. In the second phase, we will be started as on the implementation part and working on creations of web pages and work on the front end. So it will be better GUI from our expectations and it will be more enhanced for future updates. And in the third phase, we will be creating the more relevant database and creating collections in it as we will have to keep the records of our customers so they can use their previous history to track the records as they have rented how much he or she has paid in the past. And it is more essential things to get logged into the website as there are higher chance of fake posts for PG, but by doing this logging, it will become safe and convenient. In the last phase, the fourth phase, we will be deploying the front end and back end after successful testing of the data, and we will be monitoring its loopholes in the deployment too, so it will be more smoother in GUI and work more faster. So moving to the conclusion, like our visions and implementation of this project will focus mainly to provide the best services to the students, and students don't have to worry about the rental anymore. As our website will show the best possibility regarding the PG nearby they are searching. We will try to give them quality and varieties of options in PGs at cheaper and affordable rates according to their budget. So one can check out this website which shows the feed related to the rentals of rooms, but at this website focusing on the multiple things at the same time, so it becomes more difficult to fetch the perfect rooms as it may takes them costly to get there.